Guys, what is going on? I am here finally. Sorry about the delay. This is the Club of Demand 1993 coming at you for my live review of Monday Night Raw from the February 18th, 2019 edition of Raw that took place in the unfortunate state, well, I shouldn't say state, unfortunate city that does not know how to get excited at all over a show. The moment it starts with a great groundbreaking announcement, a couple pretty good announcements, I gotta say, by the game itself, Triple H. And it never got into the show at all once. And it was just a damn shame that did not happen. And it did kind of affect the show a little bit. But overall, I gotta say, not bad of a show, not bad of an episode of Raw for a Fallout show from an Elimination Chamber. Some weird stuff happened that, I may do a slight bit of ranting on, but I feel like I'm not going to do as much ranting. But just some stuff I'm just like, really, like, what the heck, guys? Come on. But most of the reason why some of this stuff looked kind of bad was because of, again, the crowd. The Lafayette crowd just was not into it at all tonight, guys. And because of that, you know what happens when you're not into a show at all? You know what happens when you literally go in there to send your hand to can't even give the announcement of D-Generation X getting to the Hall of Fame, or even the announcement that 4 of the biggest and brightest stars in NXT were going to be featured on tonight's episode of Raw? Lafayette, Louisiana, you just made the list. That's right, because that was my biggest problem I had with tonight's show, along with a couple different, little odds and ends here and there. Nothing really too major for the most part, but we'll get to that. I didn't think anything was too god awful on the show, but some of the stuff, the worst was what it was, and I'm just like, come on, guys. So again, the worst thing about this show for sure was the crowd. But other than that, I gotta say, this is a solid show. Again, could have been better, but it was solid. Although I will be honest, say something here, which last night I did post my Fastlane predictions. And again, bear with me, guys. There's other things I know that I definitely should be, sharing with such as a turn alert that I feel I should be doing after tonight's episode. But again, I have to wait till probably tomorrow or sometime soon. Again, I apologize again, but I'm going on vacation later on this week. I'm leaving Thursday, and I just have a lot on my plate. I'm trying to get some things done with before I leave on Thursday. So bear with me this week, guys. Probably won't be as much content as I usually get out there. I mean, my main thing I want to get done this week for this channel is my match card predictions. So I'm doing Fastlane's Takeover New York, and I want to get my WrestleMania 35 card predictions out before I leave on Thursday. So again, just bear with me, guys. But I do have a turn alert I want to do, but I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm going to do it sometime tomorrow because I just have a lot on my plate, stuff with work, and this stuff. Like, everything's fine again, but it's just I just have things I want to get done. But anyways, and also we are 48 days from WrestleMania, so 48 days till I'll be sitting in MetLife Stadium in section 126, hopefully having a good time. But I feel I will. So yeah, we're going to talk about this episode of Raw, which had a little interesting surprise twist to this episode. Something I did not know about till probably an hour before Raw started, which kind of brightened me up a little bit. I'll be honest, though, I wish they would not have made an announcement, though, before Raw, though, that this was happening. And that was the 4 NXT call-ups we got tonight. 4 more call-ups, and they're 4 of the bigger and brighter stars, which we'll get to that in just a second. But let's check the live chat. I haven't seen what happened. Let's see here. We got Elite Squad saying Black Mass for sure. We got one of those tonight. What's up, Mark? I'm surprised Drew and Bobby didn't help Baron Corbin this time. Getting to continuity errors, we'll be talking about that for sure. So does this mean that Sasha and Bayley are going to show up on SmackDown and NXT? Maybe here and there. Who knows when that's going to happen? Dina face again, which that's a turn alert I'm going to do, but again, I'm not doing it tonight because I have something else. I want to try to get my Takeover New York card predictions done tonight. I also have graphics for somebody else that I promised I would export tonight, so I'm taking care of that. So I'm going to do the turn alert for Dean Ambrose, hopefully sometime tomorrow. Again, guys, just bear with me over these next couple of days or these next week or so because I'm going out of town. But But yeah, I don't get it. What was the point of the main event? We'll get to that too, because I didn't get that either. Although the match was good, but I didn't get the point of it. So yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. And also, yeah, I was surprised Velveteen Dream wasn't called up here. I mean, yeah, he kind of fit, tagging with Finn like he did, but I'm a little surprised. I mean, again, I love Ricochet, don't get me wrong, but I feel he has. I mean, he had a mid-card NXT championship run in NXT. I feel he should have an NXT championship run before getting called up. So I was a little surprised with Ricochet. I'm not saying I hated it. I liked what he did in his match. Well, the match itself, I wasn't a big fan of the whole entire match. I'll get to that wide a little bit, but I definitely was a little surprised that Ricochet with them. I don't get why Velveteen Dream though has been called up yet, which I find ridiculous for sure. But let's get into this live review again. Guys, just bear with me again. I just have a lot on my plate. I want to get done over the next 2 days. Hopefully tomorrow, my SmackDown review. Not sure what will be happening with the turn or if I get to post it tomorrow. But hopefully tomorrow you'll see me with a clean shaved face, a haircut, because I'm going down south at the end of this week for a week. And I don't want to be sweating my hair out being down south. Anyways, and I know I'm not going to Lafayette, Louisiana, thank God. But I will be having a layover, though, and where Elimination Chamber took place last night in Houston. Well, on my way down, on my way back, because I'm going to Corpus Christi. But anyways, so let's get rolling rolling with this review. So again, this took place in the boring city of Lafayette, Louisiana. I couldn't even give one single crowd reaction on. Again, WWE, do not go back there. Just do not go back there. But the show was up first off the graphic again of the late Pedro Morales, who passed away last week. Don't know much about him, but rest in peace. We started off with Triple H in the ring on the microphone, saying if we can feel it in the air, which, the rest of this crowd, you hear a pin drop with how bad this crowd was. They said they're on the road to WrestleMania. Kind of, strange enough, yes, I know, we're on the road to WrestleMania, and we need to start definitely getting some more stuff, feel like it's WrestleMania worthy. But also, it kind of, think about this, guys. In 3 weeks, we have our next pay-per-view, which is Fastlane, which, again, really should not be happening, which I got my card predictions out. Check it out. Check out the card predictions, guys. And so far, I got to say, the views are off to a good start because my last few match cards, well, excluding my NXT TakeOver match cards, my TakeOver War Games and TakeOver Blackpool ones, my last several match cards haven't really been doing too well in views. I used to get like thousands of views on those. So let's get the views for my match cards rolling again, because that's where I got most of my views from. Again, even one of the worst pay-per-views, Roadblock, End of the Line, has the most views on its entire channel, 40,000. Anyways, WWE still, didn't really, tease much for Fastlane tonight. And we have, 3 weeks until the next pay-per-view, which I found that a little strange that we didn't have anything teased for Fastlane. Maybe, who knows? But anyway, so Triple H puts over the fact that Sasha and Bayley won the women's tag titles. Finn Balor won the IC title. And he puts over Kofi Kingston capturing the heart and imagination of the world and came this close to becoming WWE champion, which is also leads a lot of people, including myself, wondering if they should go with a Kofi Kingston-Daniel Bryan match in WrestleMania and have Kofi Kingston dethrone Daniel Bryan. And, of course, I didn't point this out until this out last night either. You notice one of the people that Kofi did pin last night was Randy Orton, the one guy that kind of buried him in 2009, basically. Yeah, a little bit of revenge there with Kofi getting on Randy there, I gotta say. And he also puts over Becky Lynch showing up and showing the whole world that she won't let a 60-day suspension or a bad knee keep her from getting to Charlotte and Ronda. Corporately, he has to say if she does it again, she'll be arrested and prosecuted. But personally, he says that was pretty damn cool. Maybe going off script there, who knows? And speaking of pretty cool, he put over the fact that it was finally announced the headliner for this year's Hall of Fame, D-Generation X, which to me, cool with me. I heard rumors of the Hart Foundation. People thought it was going to be Undertaker. I heard rumors months ago of The Rock, but it's not going to be one of them. I mean, maybe it could be them, but, some of those people, maybe not the Hart Foundation, maybe the Hart Foundation, maybe not. Who knows? Well, maybe I still be all right with them. But Hart Foundation could be Undertaker and Rock are definitely headliners for the Hall of Fame, unless they want to co-headline or something. I don't know. But I'm cool with D-Generation X headline this Hall of Fame. Being, of course, Shawn Michaels now become a 2-time Hall of Famer. For sure. So we got that happening there, which I'm cool with that. And he mentions himself, Shawn Michaels, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, X-Pac, and he even mentions Chyna. So even though Chyna is not in the Hall of Fame as a single star, she will be honored in the Hall of Fame when D-Generation X gets taken to the Hall of Fame. Once again, I will be at the Hall of Fame ceremony, so look forward to it. Hopefully it won't be long, because I don't want to burn myself out, although I don't get up early for anything, though. Sunday, so we'll be fine. But then he says the response piece don't stop with Raw and SmackDown though. No, he said he said he's going to pour gas on the fire. His responsibility don't stop on Raw and SmackDown, which he then stumbles over his words, and then he mentions WWE's touring a third touring brand, NXT. So it's his pleasure right now to introduce us to some people who will make their Raw debut tonight. And again, I don't know if this is just a one-time thing, which it kind of be a little dull just to have a one-time thing and not do anything with them afterwards. Like, what's the point of being a one-time thing? Like, if it's in someone's hometown, or or if it was like, I know. Well, then again, they were close by because they were in Lafayette and Orlando wasn't too far. We're gonna say this is just for a little treat tonight. We're gonna showcase some of our brightest stars of NXT on tonight's show or something. Okay, but you didn't really say that, but they're just there to be there, and I don't know if they're here to stay right now or what. Because only one of these stars I thought should have been called up after Royal Rumble, and that was Aleister Black. And Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano could be after WrestleMania, but again, I'm not sure which direction they're going. Which why I thought they would be up until after Money in the Bank, and then of course there is Ricochet, who I was a little stunned we called this early, but okay, again, I just don't want WWE to take away too much of his aerial style, but Triple H puts them all over. Michael Cole even with a with the video packages put them over very well as well. I got to give him credit for. So my excitement with going to the show was pretty high, even though my brain was fried from stuff I had to deal with for work and such earlier today. But then my excitement for the show dips, because he's like, notice that there is tables out right now, because hell's about to break loose. We're gonna have a tables match with Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin, and I'm like, really? Like, are you? Why? We have the match. The match happens. Found it weird again. Like, I still don't understand. It's just a tables match. I get you win by putting your opponent through a table, but why is the rest of the weapons still legal? To me, it's almost no different than like a TLC match, except you don't climb a ladder to grab the title or whatnot. So I don't know, but I don't want to talk about this match. I didn't care about it. Braun Strowman wins by putting Corbin through a table. But here's some things I didn't get about this match also. One, again, it kind of showed that last night was a complete waste of time. Because we could have canceled this match for a match we had on this show that should have taken place on last night's show. We'll get to that in our main event. So that happened. Two, says, when is throwing Braun Strowman through tables ever, hurt him that bad? It's just like, Braun's supposed to be some big monster who, has taken some of the nastiest bumps, and it wasn't enough to keep him down, basically. So why all of a sudden is him being, triple powerbomb through two, skinny wooden tables, injuring his ribs? Like, I didn't get that. I thought that was kind of stupid. Three, how come Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley didn't help him out this time? Like Bobby Lashley was kind of away from them for a while, it seemed like, when he got the IC title. Well, despite the fact they came together for a 6-minute match, but they weren't coming out. It was only McIntyre and Corbin helping each other out of jams. But they never said that McIntyre and Lashley were banned from ringside. So I didn't get why that didn't happen either. Again, continuity errors, guys. So I didn't care about this match. Strowman won. Just end this feud and move on. It's doing nothing for either one of them. Nothing. So we move on now. As we were told that we would be getting a big match later on that was a rematch from 2016, which we'll get to that in a little bit. I thought was pretty good. Plus a match from last night that we're getting again that I didn't get why it was happening, which we'll get to that, of course, later on. And then as Heyman's leaving, Paul Heyman comes out. And then all of a sudden, Braun Strowman goes over and grabs him by the neck, and Heyman just begs him to go away. He's just an advocate, which I'm like, okay, why is Strowman going after Heyman now? It's like, like just even the fact that Braun Strowman taking out Paul Heyman doesn't excite me more, because I know it's going to lead to absolutely nothing for Strowman, because he's just directionless right now. I don't know where the heck he's going. But so we had a commercial, which that's another problem we had this show too today. We had way too many commercials, especially during that tag match with Ricochet, Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley, and Lio Rush. Too many commercials during that. And even a commercial during that short main event match. It literally felt like we had those like 2 minutes of entrances, boom, another commercial. And I'm just like, what the hell? So anyways, so Heyman afterwards claims that Strowman's actions doesn't surprise him. Everyone should be envious of his client, the most dominant champion in the history of WWE, which is why, at his own expense, he's put something there to educate us on Brock Lesnar's history. There's a video package laying out his usual talking points and recapping Brock's career to date. And then Heyman says they'll still boo the Undertaker's ending undefeated streak, which he said, once again, newsflash, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, my client, Brock Lesnar, conquered the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania 30, which we all know that by now, but he brought it up again just to get the heat again, once again. But then he says, but there ain't a thing they can do about it, and he takes an impromptu survey as to whether Seth Rollins will win at WrestleMania, which, he's trying to see him. Very suddenly, he was going to pick someone out of the crowd to say if he was going to say they believe Raw's going to win. And the crowd, being as dead as they were, barely even made a noise. He was maybe mad. So I'm like, oh, pick me, I know. Yes, and he's going to take that title off of your freaking lazy-ass client. I just went there. But anyways, then afterwards, all of a sudden, which I do not get like these random interruptions that are not leading to anything going on between them, but it's a segment to a different segment. I don't get why I do it. It's so stupid. Finn Balor comes out. We go to commercial break. He comes out and says, it's been a while since he had a title, and boy, does it feel good. Well, it feels good to see what the title right away is about for once, Finn, because you deserve it for sure. Growing up watching greats like Razor Ramon, HBK, Ric Flair, it's been a dream of his to hold this title, and he's proud to continue its legacy as our Intercontinental Champion. And he plans on defending it before Lio Rush comes out. Looking down and sad, I'm like, oh yeah, he just got dumped by Bobby Lashley last night for costing him the match. And once again, I did not get why that had to be a handicap match, but I was happy that Finn won and his IC Intercontinental Champion. I didn't think he was going to win it, but I'm happy he did. He comes out and says that, Finn, you don't deserve to be champion. Bobby Lashley does. And then out from behind came Lashley to attack him, which I thought, okay, maybe Lashley's taking advantage. But then Lio comes down to the ring, and they're double teaming him and working together like they're just fine. Nothing happened. Like, what the hell happened? Like, I flat out saw on Twitter last night a tweet that Bobby Lashley retweeted of Finn Balor saying, Bobby, call me when you give me. I mean, Lio Rush tweeted something, then Finn Balor retweeted. Rush basically said, Bobby, call me when you get a chance. And Bobby said, sorry, my voicemail is full. I don't have time to talk to people who are wasting space and whatever. So something like that. So, okay, there's some story going on here that these two are done. But no, that was not the case. Do you want to know why? Because they're acting like everything's fine again. I mean, yes, they had a match of itself. It showed a little bit of resistance, but still, it's just like they act like, just like that, they're teaming up again. And it made no sense. But it led to a good thing. Ricochet came out. He rolls past Lio Rush and clobbers Bobby Lashley. It's a big moonsault, springboard missile drop kick, and clears out the Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley. He stands tall and picks up Finn, and they call the heels in for more. And we go to a commercial break, and we get a match with Finn Balor and Ricochet taking on Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush. And think about this: we're seeing two really good aerialists in Finn Balor and Lio Rush have a match. I think it's pretty awesome. And of course, I wouldn't mind seeing a match with Finn Balor and Ricochet someday. Of course, after this match, I don't know why, the more I thought about it, more seeing Ricochet in action on the main roster, more I thought, what? He's going to SmackDown Live and have a feud with Cesaro. I feel those two would mix it in very good for sure. But this match, I liked it, but the problem I have with this match is, one, too many commercials. Why is a match that Bobby Lashley's involved with anymore on Raw has too many freaking commercials? But the thing that kind of took me out a little bit was the fact that, Ricochet started the match and ended it, but he didn't do much in between. I mean, I was fine with, Finn getting the time to shine this match as he deserved to do so. But I felt like, this match was about, was more so to put over Ricochet. I get it. But I felt they didn't give him enough time in the spotlight. But he did have some, sick-looking moves, his corkscrew, elbow, even his corkscrew, moonsault he did to take out Rusher, Lashley outside of the ring. Just some amazing stunts. Because I remember, when it came out from commercial the first time when the match started, I heard Renee Young say, "You do not want to walk away from your TV right now, folks, with Ricochet getting ready to perform." And I'm like, you know what? Damn right, Renee, you are correct for sure. But the spots that Ricochet was in, I enjoyed. And I can also appreciate the fact that, Lio Rush wanted to get into the match when Finn Balor was in there because he wanted to prove himself that, last night was just a fluke, but it did not happen, as eventually, what the heck did I bump here? Anyways, eventually, even after 2 commercial breaks was ridiculous, Finn Balor and Ricochet won after Ricochet hit a 630 senton on Lio Rush for the win. So, welcome to the main roster, Ricochet. I don't know if you're here for good, but again, welcome to the main roster for sure. Let me see here. Let me see. I think we'll do. Let's do one more, and then I'll check the live chat. Well, we see Natalya backstage talking to Triple H, which I thought they were supposed to have a match with Dana Brooke last week. I guess they rejected the idea. Who knows? Triple H is talking to her when Drew McIntyre rolls up. He says he couldn't help but notice Triple H rolling out the red carpet for all these NXT guys. And when he got here, he said he'd do anything to prove himself. And he wants Seth Rollins to do so to prove he belongs in the main event of WrestleMania. And then comes Dean Ambrose from behind him. And he says he's not doing anything tonight. Why not him? And he bitch slaps McIntyre across the face. And he walks away. Triple H asks him, "Do you still want Seth?" And McIntyre said, "Give me Dean instead." So we got that match for later on, which I have a few things I want to say about that match when we get to it. We then had Lucha House Party come out, which this was weird. While they came out, Vince, we had a recap of what happened last week. They had this weird angle constantly throughout the night of, showing, the stage and showing, the recap of last week. Instead of just cut to the footage, which I didn't understand why they were doing that. Recap of what happened last week, with the change to the Raw Women's Championship match last week. But then we have Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder on a Lucha House Party match was just to continue on with the storyline for so does it continue on the storyline for how the fact that Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are working extra hard to try to end Hawkins' undefeated, basically just trying to overcome being the ultimate underdogs basically now, since they're both losers basically. They lost again. They said that Hawkins was getting ready to win, but it got, the fact he might be able to win got to him, and it ruined, and it didn't work for him. But I don't know if that was the case or not. But Lucha House Party wins. Let's check the live chat again, see what we got here. I think right here. The crowd was dead for sure tonight. Elite Squad said the women's tag titles can be defended on NXT, Raw, and SmackDown Live, which again, I'm glad. Maybe we will get a match at NXT TakeOver New York, which maybe not yet, because I'm starting to feel that because of because of Io Shirai pinning Shayna, I think we'll get Io taking on Shayna at TakeOver New York, which I'll be honest and say this, guys. I mean, even at Rumble, I was all Shayna's gonna be coming up soon. It's gonna be good Shayna, but here's the honest truth, though. Again, the rumors of Ronda leaving after WrestleMania are still circulating, and my honest opinion is I think it's still gonna be a while, maybe at least till SummerSlam, or if Evolution, they do it later this year, or Survivor Series, where I think they'll do the 4 Horsewomen match. Because honest to God, I don't think Shayna Baszler's coming up yet. And the reason why is not because of her. is because of her two other little cronies down in NXT. Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. I hate to say it, guys, but they're not impressing me that much. Duke and Shafir, like they feel like they have like a long way. Like Ronda and Shayna picked up on it pretty easily, but Jessamine and Marina aren't really, aren't really presenting my cup of tea right now. I gotta say, I feel like they have more work to do, which is why I'm starting to feel that they may be keeping Shayna down there until Jessamine and Marina are ready. It's a shame that's happening, but if Shayna comes up and leaves them down there, then what are you going to do? And if you brought them up to the main roster right now, the 4 horsewoman match would be an absolute disaster. I hate to say, anyways, Mark says, I'm worried when Sasha and Bayley had their first title defense because even though I can't stand Nia and Tamina, they did have a point. Sasha has never been able to keep the title, which, that did scare me also for sure. And yes, Lee Squad, I did see that Black, Gargano, Ricochet, and Ciampa are undercurrent superstars as well. So maybe they are sticking around the main roster. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Mark says, I don't get why they keep showing what happened last week. It's not doing anything but making people angry. That is true because they're just doing something else to follow, and afterwards they was just again to kill titles again. The show's 3 freaking hours. Ladies and gentlemen, my client who is never here, exactly. I don't get what was the point of turning Dean heel, just turn him face again. I'll kind of get into that when I do my Turn Lord tomorrow, but basically again, he turned him heel, but the direction with him as a heel just did not work. Again, he just did not have. They didn't book him like the proper way as a heel. They tried to make him a typical, cowardly heel. They tried to make him. So again, him turning face is either going to, just give him, just a natural reaction if he really is leaving, or if this is a work, which I'll explain why I feel this could be a work. In my Turn Lord, I do sometime tomorrow again for Dean. But yeah, the Heavy Machinery and Lacey Evans segment was stupid. We'll talk about that in a second. Also, they got Charlotte and Becky on this. They got to get Charlotte and Becky on the same page first, which, yeah, they can't, just do that overnight, basically. But again, I think the biggest reason why I want to wait a while to see that 4 horsewoman match against Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir are just not impressing me at all. NXT for sure right now. But yeah, definitely a story getting Charlotte Becky back on the same page as well is needed for sure. But anyways, moving on now in this review. We were supposed to get a tag match with 2 of the NXT call-ups, but then first we had, I'm sorry, they're not Tucker, Knight, and Otis Dozovic anymore, even though they say Tucky and Dozer on their jackets. They're just Tucker and Otis. I don't get it. Tucker, they come out on stage and being interviewed. Tucker says that they're blue collar solid and they get the job done, working hard and getting a nice sweat in the gym before following it up with red meat. And then Otis says, steaks and weights, Tucky! Steaks and weights! Which again, I feel, again, so far of the 6 last batch of 6 call-ups, I'd still say Heavy Machinery has definitely impressed me the most, except for this segment, of course, though, which is weird. Tucker then says that they're ready for everyone, and they have a pact. They have each other's back in the ring, and then out comes Lacey Evans. Like last night, she came out and just started walking to the ring. But as she turns around and walks back and returns to the stage, and then Heavy Machinery just does an imitation of the Bushwhackers, and they march down to the ring and back just to mock Lacey. Again, like, why? It's like, you had these 6 hyped up, which, again, the one that has not appeared yet is Lars Sullivan, which I'm starting to feel that maybe, I'm surprised Lars Sullivan hasn't gone over his panic attack in his back yet. Because even though, well, again, I've heard rumors that Lars Sullivan was supposed to feud with John Cena, but I've also heard apparently, of course, I think it was Larry mentioned this in a live chat one day, that apparently Lars Sullivan was supposed to be doing what Eric Rowan is doing on SmackDown right now, which, I don't know, maybe for Lars, I don't know. I feel like, that role is just too small for him. He deserves something a little bit bigger than that. But I'm starting to feel that if anything, maybe wait to debut Lars on the main roster until after WrestleMania, I feel. But you notice that these five, six calls we got so far are doing absolutely nothing. I mean, yeah, Heavy Machinery's had a couple, matches for a tag title opportunity. You know what? They've done good with it. I would say they've done amazing, but they've done good. They've done the best. Nikki Cross spent a couple of matches where the tag team she was involved won the first one, but she didn't get the pin. She lost in the thing with her and Alicia Fox being tag teamed against Sasha Bailey, which was what it had to be. And she lost Ruby Riott the following week. So she's not doing much. Lacey Evans has only had one match in the Royal Rumble where she lasted 29 minutes, eliminated like 2 or 3 people, which she did all right. But again, now she's walking back to the ring. Again, I just have this. I didn't think she was ready at all. Like if anybody, I wouldn't have never thought Lacey Evans would be called up to the main roster yet. But I'm starting to worry they're going to Emelina her basically, or be that one they just bring up and they over push her. I'm starting to worry that's what they're going to do with her. But so I don't know why she's just walking out, walking back, and just say something. Don't keep doing this for weeks and weeks, Lacey. It's going to get completely old. At least do something different when you come out. At least I don't know, but and then again EC3. Well, the best thing with EC3 was we were asked where's EC1 and EC2, which was pretty funny by Ambrose. And he's had 2 matches. Ambrose, they went 50-50 bookings. Now I don't know where the heck he's going either. So why'd you call them up if you're doing absolutely nothing with them? Yet you bring up 4. Well, then again, here's the thing also. All those call-ups, I like them in NXT. Well, again, Lacey Evans I didn't hate, but I wasn't really digging her that much yet. You know what I mean? Although, except that one time when she came out and wrestled in this black attire, and I thought she looked pretty hot in. But anyways, but I didn't feel like they were the biggest deals like Johnny Gargano's or Tommaso Ciampa's or Ricochet's or Aleister Black's that they had to get these big hypes for basically them coming up. Like Lars Sullivan, maybe because his appearance and whatnot, but others, like Amy Sherry never won the tag titles in NXT. Nikki Cross, was entertaining, but I don't think she's going to be steal the women's division right off the bat. And like EC3. Well, then again, EC3 again is that victim of someone who Triple H felt was more meant for the roster and main roster, not NXT. I don't know. Again, I feel like these 4 stars were a bigger deal, and like the hype that we got for them, like revealing those video packages, was much more necessary than the previous batch. Because now they're nothing with them. So hopefully, Ciampa, Gargano, Black, and Ricochet don't fall the same victim for them. So who knows? But anyway, so that segment was weird. But then backstage, we're getting ready for a match that I was pretty excited about. We have Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, DIY, backstage talking about their match when Chad Gable and Bobby Roode come up to congratulate them on their call, but wonder why they're getting a match against the Revival already. Gable says this isn't NXT, it's Raw. And on Raw, they start from the bottom and work their way up. So why are they getting this match when it should be them? Even though you gotta earn your rematch clauses, this is not a title match. Johnny says the way he sees it, they've been running the hottest brand for years, and they're here to take over, which is exactly what's supposed to happen and how it felt like it was going to happen on this show, in this match. Then who roll up? The Revival. Green DIY, who says it's been a while, and they're not here looking for respect. They're looking to make an impression at their expense. So good luck. The Revival said they don't need luck, and they'll see them out there. And we had a match. The Revival versus DIY. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Man, this match was nothing like, again, the 2 matches. I think they didn't have another match on NXT. I think it was, I can't remember, but the 2 matches they had on pay-per-view in 2016, especially that match at TakeOver Toronto, was still my tag team match of the year and one of the best matches of 2016 for sure, I gotta say. But man, again, this brought back so many memories. And of course, what was nice, I was slightly hoping they would come out to the DIY entrance music. Yes, it felt a little bit out of character tonight, but it wasn't about the stories going on down on NXT. This is about them coming out and making an impression. Yes, they're somewhat on the same page now on NXT, but not completely at the same time. But I was completely cool with kind of like Tommaso Ciampa playing face for one night, and him and Johnny just being DIY again to make an impression of what these guys are made of, setting the bar low because not saying low, but as a tag team they did amazing things, but as single stars they also did amazing things, and this is a way just to showcase both their talents. And also, because keep in mind too, Yes, they're not really, a stable unit right now. But these are two guys that grew up in this business together. Like, that story together, them making the impression in well, as like with no NXT contracts in the first Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic or wherever it was that they made the impressions in, and they got over big time with the fans. Again, these people too have had that heartwarming story growing up together and being like best friends and everything, like succeeding together, making their moments together, even as single stars. So to me, I can forgive the fact that they had Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano kind of like break character from NXT somewhat a little bit tonight, because this match is about the two of them getting up to on the main roster, starting it together, just like they didn't get to NXT alone either. Again, that is why in my NXT reviews I've said for months that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa somehow got to get to the main roster, together. And this is they view them like, you know what? It's cool with me that they came up this way. I mean, maybe they'll have their blow off match, their feud, whenever Johnny turns on Ciampa, either at maybe you can have a WrestleMania, who knows? But I don't want to set the bar high again. I worry if it happens at WrestleMania, it will not be as good as it would be in NXT, unless if Vince lets Triple H run that match. But again, I definitely would still rather see that blow off match happen at the takeover at Money in the Bank, which would be both their swan songs where they move up to the main roster full time, because these two are definitely worthy to do great things on the main roster, but don't ruin them. But I could forgive the fact again that these two were kind of like broke character a little bit tonight and had this match, which they counted their individual songs, and just hearing again. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rebel Heart is a great song, but hearing Ciampa's "No One Will Survive," like, dang, that song just kills it. I love it. Coming out, holding Goldie and whatnot as champ, and whatever he wants to call his North American title, and Gargano and North American title, Ciampa, Goldie coming out. But I'm just like, man, this is gonna be an exciting match. I'm gonna love it. And you know what? I did, and you know what I liked about it? It was good, and it left me wanting more. Like even my friend Dan was texting me and saying how I could have seen that gone another 10 minutes of that match. I mean, that match was at a great pace. It was a match that could you didn't want to give too much away of what these guys can do, but same time you wanted to give them a good impression but leave us wanting more, and that's exactly what they did. Revival looked dominant. Again, like the Revival from last week and this week, we're looking like the Revival from NXT. Again, that team that has just a simple philosophy of no flips, just fists, but they have they're smart psychology, and they're smart bad guys in the case that they're not cowards, but they can outsmart you and trick you, like just the simplest little ways, and it's so effective, which helps me appreciate them and that simple, like, old school tag team wrestling. And they just have great chemistry with DIY. The spot that I really like, got me in the match is when Johnny hit like that double move there where he did like a drop kick on, I think it was Wilder, and hit his DDT on Dawson. Of course, what I also loved, and Robbie, if you're in the live chat, you see this, Tommaso Ciampa, despite again being the heel, still being really being a heel, but kind of breaking kayfabe a little bit for the night, doing his little. I'm like, yes! I popped when he did it. I'm like, yes, he did it! But of course, they even said for the DIY finisher and whatnot. And again, we didn't see the fairy tale ending or the slingshot DDT. Well, we did see the slingshot DDT, but it wasn't treated as a finish. But also a spot where it looked like they were going to go for a shatter machine, it looked like, but then I think it was Ciampa came in and broke, and like I kind of got Wilder out of the way to avoid it. Like that was a pretty sick spot as well. But eventually, again, like they win with the super kick knee strike combination on Scott Dawson to get the win. Now, of course, I know again I am not a fan of champions losing clean to tag teams, but this is one I can forgive. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. These two are maybe they can get. Here's the thing, I don't want the Revival to drop the tag titles yet, but obviously again, Ciampa Gargano has had to win this match to show against the best team that they belong here and what they can do, and the Revival put them over in a good way tonight. So what I'm thinking is maybe somehow Gable and Rude will earn their opportunities. And once again, remember, rematches aren't automatic anymore. You gotta, except someone else's case tonight. But anyways, you gotta earn your title opportunities to get in their opportunities. So now I'm starting because I think on my predicted match card I predicted a Lucha House Party and taking on DIY. I mean, not DIY, the Revival, because the Lucha House Party and DIY have an unfinished business. I mean, not DIY. Lucha House Party and the Revival kind of have some unfinished beef. So I thought just do like a pre-show tag team match, and the third member of Lucha House Party is on wrestling's banned from ringside, just so to shut them up or something like that. But now I'm starting to feel, what if we get like a triple threat match with DIY and Tommaso Ciampa, with DIY taking on the Revival and Gable and Rude, and like Gable and Rude could take the pin, and maybe we can have DIY win the titles off of the Revival at WrestleMania, maybe, who knows. But we could maybe get that again to eventually get, like, I don't know when that, again, there is unfinished business for sure with Gargano and Ciampa with their singles feud. Like, again, that is not over. So again, I don't know where it's going, but I'm still pretty excited. Again, they made a great impression for sure on the main roster tonight, and hopefully they do not ruin them, because those guys are way too awesome to be ruined. But we'll get to that later on. Backstage, you see Finn Balor and Ricochet interviewed, where Finn talks about his 24 hours and says last night it was about him, but tonight it's about Ricochet. Welcomes him to Raw and leaves him for it to be interviewed. And then Ricochet says, you can envision how you reach your goals, but it's never exactly like you plan. But once you live your dreams, it feels better than anything you can ever imagine. Look at him. He's from Paducah, Kentucky, and he's on Raw. We haven't seen the last of him, and he's going to show the entire W Universe why there's one and only Ricochet, which, again, I look forward to definitely seeing him more whenever, if he's sticking around, or if not, But we didn't get another Handicam Kevin Owens promo, who's now at the movies, getting ready to go to the movies. He says not much has changed. He's still rehabbing, enjoying the time with his family, and trying to picture what his return is going to be like. He's never been more focused or hungrier. And then his son rolls up with popcorn and a drink, and he says the time off is given him to the perspective, you can trust him when he says he's ready to fight again. And then I guess he says something like, son's like, you gave me $20. Where's my change? He's like, that's all it costs. Like, you sure that's all it costs for just a soda and popcorn or something like that? I don't know. Again, I kind of feel like, they're starting to get these promos a little too often, which, again, he said last week that he wasn't sure he was going to Raw or SmackDown, but all these promos were taking place on Raw or Elimination Chamber. So I feel he's going to stay on Raw, but I feel like these promos, even though, again, I feel like they shouldn't do them like every single week, but I feel like they're trying to really push on the fact that they're going to probably return Kevin Owens as a babyface, which is cool with me. Again, I mean, Kevin Owens, I feel, really should be a dominating heel, but I feel like, he's definitely, again, lost some momentum with his heel run for sure. Again, he wasn't like, at rock bottom. Well, he kind of almost was when he left. But to me, he was kind of the guy who was in the position like, yeah, he was being used, but he was basically just a guy just filling a spot. And you kind of feel like he was just there just to get his paycheck, basically. You felt like. So hopefully him as a baby face will definitely, get him back on track. I don't know, maybe they have some big plans for WrestleMania, because I keep hearing rumors that they do. So we'll see what happens when the Kevin Owens show returns. Maybe a Fastlane. We'll have to wait and see. But that'll be happening probably in the next couple of weeks. And then, oh boy. This segment, I felt so bad for Sasha and Bayley, because they looked like that they were struggling through this segment. Like, this promo seemed cringy, but I feel like it would not have been so cringeworthy if the crowd just wasn't so freaking dead. Like, you could have, like, of all the times, of course, yeah, the crowd barely gave a reaction to any of the NXT call-ups. But the worst I felt for any part of the show was this segment. This segment, the crowd was so quiet you could have heard a pin drop. So Sasha and Bayley come out with their new WWE Women's Tag Team Championship belts. Bayley begins by saying last night was very emotional for both of them, and she's at total loss for words. She can't believe that they're here right now holding these titles as your first ever WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Well, of this era. There was WWF Women's Tag Team Champions at one point. But Sasha says it feels like a dream, but it's not a dream anymore, and we all made this happen. It's so crazy to think how far they've come from making history in NXT to being up here, and they've always done it together. Bayley says they've gone from hating each other to loving each other, and they felt every single emotion together. And Sasha says it's because they have the same goal, and she can't imagine doing it with anyone else. And Bayley says it took them going to war to realize they have to be together to change the world, and they plan on being champs for a very long time. They have their heart and soul on helping build the divisions, so they'll defend against anyone, past, present, future, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Bayley says they recognize and respect how special the titles are, not just to them, but to the entire women's evolution. Which, saying that, it sounds like, simple to the point, but again, this promo just felt so bad. And again, because the crowd gave like absolutely no reaction to them at all whatsoever. Like there was times it was like the awkward pause, and it's like, you could have easily taken this segment and put like, crickets in the background during these long pauses, because that's again how dead this crowd was. But thank God, well, she came out, so no thank God for that. But at least she didn't do what she does during Moment of Bliss, which has gotten old for sure when she does the whatnot. But out comes Tamina and Nia Jax. They come out, and Nia's like, just stop. Nobody wants to sit through their nauseating love fest. But she'll congratulate them for winning the tag titles. They're cute with their matching outfits, but she doesn't get it. She doesn't want to ruin their celebration. It's best they'll ever get. But everybody knows that Sasha only cares about herself, which, okay, blah, blah, blah. We've heard that how many times? We all know that, but they still haven't split up yet. And her history proves that anytime she wins a title, she loses it in her first title defense. But then as this one, I'm like, not so like, pissed off, and I'm like, oh no, don't say it like again. Like, don't. If they drop these titles, their first defense, I actually will be quite pissed off. But like, okay, come on, guys, quit this with her. That's enough. So, they're basically going to the ring saying they want to prove that they're tough and whatnot, but they get to the ring, but then Sasha and Bayley just kick them both off the apron. Nia tries to crawl into the apron. She's barely under the rope, and then Sasha just goes to put on the bank saying, which didn't look weak, look strong at all. And Nia just walks out, and they walk away. How much more weaker could they made Nia and Tamina look there? Like, they just walk to the ring and they think there's some big tough girls and we're so tough and, everybody's talking about us. You get to the ring and they literally did absolutely nothing and walked away like, cowards. And I am just like, what a waste. So it looks like, yeah, we're probably getting their first title defenses against Tamina and Nia Jax. And do not drop them. Again, like, those, if anyone should be taking those tag titles and going to, different brands to feature, like great matches, it should be Sasha Banks and Bayley. Again, those two deserve to be more than just tag team champions. They can, defend it against, again, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, again, have definitely improved a lot for sure. But they can go to NXT, of course, defend them against, like, Sky Pirates, like Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. If they get polished up, then, of course, eventually it's Jessamine Duke and Maria Shafir, but not yet because they're complete garbage right now. But but those are the ones. I don't want to see Nia Jax to me like, oh my gosh, we're gonna defend these titles everywhere, blah blah blah. Yeah, right. No, you're not. But I still want to see in WrestleMania 35. I think we should get Bayley and Sasha taking on Trish and Lita. It'd be an awesome match for sure, a tag match. I think we can get for that show. So expect that on my WrestleMania card predictions when I post them this week. Then we get the video package for D-Generation X Hall of Fame introductions, and again, China was included in there, so I'm happy that's happening. It'd be nice we have China individually be inducted to the Hall of Fame, but she's getting inducted as a member of DX. But it still is what it is. We didn't have Dean Ambrose take on Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre basically squashes Dean Ambrose, which once again, if he is leaving, quit treating him like a joke. What I thought was going to happen, honestly, I thought that maybe McIntyre would attack Ambrose backstage. And because since he kind of called out the NXT call-ups, I thought, okay, maybe we're gonna have Drew McIntyre take on Aleister Black. But then I thought, wait a minute, it's not the right time yet for that match. honestly, I'm just saying this right now. I would definitely save that match, Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre, for like SummerSlam or like WrestleMania even. That can be a world championship feud I want to see. Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre. They didn't face off in NXT, I believe. So why not save them for like a WrestleMania match someday? So I'm kind of glad they did, but again, I'll get to more again, on Dean Ambrose and the turnover, but again, if Dean Ambrose really is leaving WWE again, don't treat him like a joke. Again, as I keep saying, this guy, despite that injury last year, out for 8 or 9 months, before that was one of the biggest workhorses in this company for sure, working like probably the most out of anyone over the past, since 2008, 14 for sure. So don't disrespect this man if he definitely is leaving. But again, we will talk about that a little bit more when I do the turn alert for him, which we post sometime tomorrow. We're going to get part 2 of Heyman's video package covering Lesnar's career from 2014 to the present, which, gets to his freaking Universal title reign, which, yeah. Seth Rollins is interviewed backstage, and he says, you can't call Paul Heyman a liar because he said about Brock was true, but where he's wrong is that Rollins is heading into WrestleMania with a death wish. He's headed to end Lesnar's title reign of terror, and whether he walks out under his own power or gets stretched out, he promises to leave as Universal Champion. Then Ambrose just rolls up, popping his neck, and Rollins asks, can I help you? Then Dean says, where were you out there? And then Seth says, have you completely lost your mind? And Ambrose is like, and shrugs and just walks away, so who knows? So then I'm like, okay, there's 2 more, obviously time for 2 more things left where it's going to be. And, of course, next was Elias, but he didn't say walk with Elias. Which, again, it's like, okay, are they really trying to sabotage us more with Elias? I'm not even saying walk with Elias. Again, the guy is over, but I don't know why they had to turn heel on him. But then I thought to myself, okay, there's only one reason I will forgive Elias being heel right now, and that is if he has a WrestleMania 7 with The Rock at WrestleMania 35. And after that, we want to turn face again, cool. But again, I'm tired of them kind of, having Elias like, again, I hate it when heels who are over sabotage the crowd, such as Rusev Day, such as Elias, such as Becky Lynch, the first SmackDown over SummerSlam, accusing the fans of never truly being behind her. Like, WWE can erase that from the YouTube clip, maybe probably erase that from SmackDown, all you want. That clip is still intact in my memory. She said it, and there's nothing you can take back from that at all. That was completely stupid of you guys to have her say that. That was absolutely bullshit, which is why, like guys like, Velveteen Dream, when he was a heel, he acknowledged the crowd. And a few other heels, recently that have still acknowledged the crowd despite the fact that, they're heels. But anyway, so Elias in the ring practicing a song, blah, blah, blah. Again, he had the right to crap on the crowd nice, since again, Lafayette sucked. But then, except for the 4th NXT call-up, Aleister Black. So we got Aleister Black taking on Elias. It's a brief little match to show what Aleister Black can do. And he wins with the Black Mass. We didn't get a hype for Ric Flair's 70th birthday celebration. Next week in Atlanta, we got our main event. It was Ruby Riott and Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. Why is Ruby getting a rematch, despite the fact she got squashed the night before? I don't know. But then we had the match, and to be honest, it was a solid match. Why couldn't they have gotten rid of that pointless no DQ match we got between Strowman and Corbin last night? If we were going to do the match again here on Raw, we could have saved that match for Raw, even though I wouldn't have cared about it still, and then had Ruby Riott and Ronda Rousey get more time they got last night. Although I wasn't a big fan of having Ronda kick out of 2 riot kicks. I would have rather. I mean, the riot kick is still, a little too early to have be kicked out of multiple times. I would have rather seen Ronda kick out of just 1, even though it made me think that they were going to give Ruby the win right there. But it did make Ruby look a lot better than it did last night for sure. Of course, last night the Riot Squad wasn't even at ringside for her, which I didn't get why that happened. It was just the chamber match earlier. But the match happened, and not Nia. Oh God, no more Nia in the main event scene. Ronda eventually wins with a cross arm breaker submission. But then afterwards, she hits Piper's Pit and a judo throw onto Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, trying to tag until the show off the air. So why do we have to do this match again on Raw? I don't know, but again, it was a solid match. But I didn't get why we had to do it again. Why couldn't I do this last night? Surprise also, no Charlotte or Becky tonight, but they're trying to sell off, the suspension. I kind of respect that too as well. So some things that happened on the show for sure that I'm like, why this happened? But same thing I can say, some of the stuff still was not that bad. Still some weird stuff on the show, but that was Raw, guys. Still a fun show, definitely. NXT stole the show tonight for sure. Especially, again, my favorite part of the show for sure was definitely the match of the Revival and DIY. That match brought back so many memories, and it was good. Left me wanting more, though. But we'll see, of course, what happens. later on down the line. So on Twitter, the polls, 12 votes for what grade would you give? I put Y grade would you give Monday Night Raw? What grade? Not Y grade. What grade would you give Raw? 12 votes, 17% said A, 33% said B, 50% said C, but nobody said anything lower than that. My grade, honestly, I'll give it a B minus. I gave it a strong B minus. B minus again, because there was some stuff that was definitely a little off on the show, but still some good stuff for sure. Although, again, as I said at the beginning of this review, the thing that kind of got me a little bit is that the fact that Fastlane's 3 weeks away and they didn't really set up anything for Fastlane on this show, which I thought was kind of ridiculous. Kind of showing that pay-per-view is kind of pointless now, but at least, you know, they're trying to look a little more further ahead into WrestleMania, so I kind of give them the credit there. So, guys, before I check the live chat one more time again, just a friendly reminder again, guys. I know I'm going to be mentioning this at least probably just tomorrow and maybe Wednesday night also. But again, my typical reviews this week for Raw, SmackDown, NXT UK, well, 205 Live, NXT UK, and NXT. But then Thursday again, I am leaving for vacation. We're going to be gone from this Thursday till next Thursday. So this week there will be no top 10 special because I'm going to be flying into Corpus Christi and visiting my sister. So I will try to catch, any highlights of Raw or SmackDown and whatnot next week, but I may not be able to review any of the shows live. If I can't review them live, that I will just record my reviews when I get the time next week and just upload them to the internet, when I get the chance. Get into good Wi-Fi is, unless they have good Wi-Fi at their apartment. I'm not sure, but so yeah, just bear with me over next week, guys. Again, I'm going to do a turn for Dean Ambrose again, but I want to get my takeover New York and my WrestleMania card predictions done also before I leave. So there's some things again, both on here and personally, I'm trying to focus on getting done over these next 2 days before I leave for my trip on Thursday. Which is again, one of them is for sure tomorrow, getting this haircut. I'm shaving this beard off tonight, but I'm getting a haircut tomorrow, first thing. And then, there's other things I have to take care of personally. But so, so that again, that's just a heads up again for this week, guys. Let's check the live chat one more time before checking out here. Looks like we got Tic Tac Pineapple in the live chat. What's up, my friend? Let's see here. And Jalen's in the live chat. Nice. They better give Heavy Machinery a title run. Honestly, again, it'd be nice. Again, I'm kind of with my one friend and hoping that since they put the titles, well, here's the thing. If they're going to merge the titles, then the Usos and the Revival could be the right way to go. Or if they want to do Usos and DIY taking over for sure, that'd be awesome as well. But if not, then I definitely think DIY will win the tag titles at WrestleMania for sure. But yeah, Heavy Machinery, I think so far is out of all the calls, have had the best momentum, and I hope they do get a tag title run for sure. I'm just still worried that they're going to split them up because they're both big men and try to make them single stars. I don't think they're ready to be single stars yet, in my opinion. Yeah, again, Jalen, the crowd was dead for sure tonight. That's why I put them on the list. What's up, Tic Tac Pineapple? Are we ever going to get Lars? Again, my thing is I'm starting to feel that maybe they might be putting off Lars since Lars hasn't come back, hasn't come yet. I'm feeling maybe they'll just wait till after WrestleMania for him. Because I don't want to see him again. I don't want to see him in Cena. And again, if the rumors were true, he was supposed to be Daniel Bryan's intellectual peer instead of Rowan. Although I wouldn't have been one of Lars Sullivan just be based off of just a recycling gimmick and whatnot. I kind of feel like maybe that wasn't meant for him. Like Rowan for something different, okay, but he still has to work on the mic skills. But I definitely feel that maybe we should wait till after WrestleMania for Lars Sullivan to debut. Maybe he just didn't feel ready to be put on the big stages like that right away. My fear is these NXT talent are going to go in the same way as EC3 and Nikki Cross, which I hope does not happen, especially with these four. They're four of the biggest stars for sure. The crowd did definitely the crowd spoiled the NXT call-ups with no reaction. Well, again, they announced that they revealed on the app that they were seen backstage, so it kind of gave it away there. They should have left that as a surprise. Biggest shock of the night was Tamina speaking. Oh, goodness. I still want to forget that awful segment in 2017 for Money in the Bank where she literally copied Charlotte and said, "Hey, Charlotte, shut up before you start sounding like Ellsworth. Where you end up like Ellsworth." Literally, you could have heard a pin drop of that. Because the thing was, again, at least maybe like sound out like she knew she was copying her and saying, "Hey, Charlotte, maybe you should show up before you start looking like Ellsworth." A little bit lazy, but it would have been a lot tolerable. And her adding like that was just something completely new being said there. But again, that segment was awful. Tamina, Tamina, I never was that impressed with. Do you think we'll see the call-ups tomorrow? That's another thing I have a problem with also, too. Why are all these call-ups, except for maybe Heavy Machinery, having all their matches on Raw, and no one's barely doing anything on SmackDown? Why is that the case? Like, that's honestly kind of really starting to tick me off. Like, why is Raw getting all the call-ups and SmackDown's getting barely nothing? That's ticking me off as well. Do you think we'll see The Miz or Shane turn heel tomorrow, and we will finally see Asuka? Asuka, I hope we finally see. Miz and Shane, we'll see. I don't know. Again, that was quite a shocker, them dropping the belts completely last night. Again, I thought at least we would see like them win, but the Miz would use a heel tactic to win or something like that. I thought the crowd completely sucked all night, and I'm from Louisiana. I'm very sorry to hear that, Marcus Ryan. Thank you for joining us live. And he also thought that Rude and Gable we're going to interfere. I had the slight itch they might also, but here's the thing. If they're going to turn, keep Chad Gable face. Turn Bobby Roode heel. He needs that heel turn so bad, guys. It may not even save him at this point, but, would like to see Ricochet challenge for the IC title. They want to do that open challenge on Raw? Sure. Even at a pay-per-view, take my money again. I would love to see that match. Good suggestion, definitely, Marcus. It's stupid to keep the brand split. They're going to have the women's tag team champions on all shows. True, but at the same time also, again, do we really need these many titles, guys? I mean, I'm for the brand split because it's going to at least give other people opportunities to shine on TV. But I do agree that there's way too many titles, and with all these titles, it's taking up space from non-title feuds. It's making pay-per-views a lot longer. So I'm for merging divisions for sure. And again, plus two, it can create some more competition between both shows, not have Survivor Series come around where it's always Raw versus SmackDown and have it feel like all of a sudden, oh, we hate each other now all of a sudden. And again, it just makes absolutely no sense because no one gets anything out of it. Nia for WWE champion next year. No, thank you. WrestleMania, book it. No, thank you. Drew versus Black would be awesome, definitely. WWE does not hit when the iron is hot, and that's the writer's problems. Well, it's not just that because they only have stuck in their mind what they want to see happen, not what the fans want to happen. That's the problem there. I thought they were going to have something going on between Lacey Evans and Alexa Bliss. I agree. I thought that's what they were teasing on that go home segment. That actually got me interested because I'm like, okay, I like Alexa Bliss, but I feel like it's time we definitely treat her like a baby face because I feel like right now she's great on the microphone as a heel. Of course, her in-ring ability that we have through, but again, I feel like she's run her course as a heel right now. I feel like she needs a face turn for something fresh. But we'll see what happens. Mark's giving Raw B. Pineapple TikTok tag Pineapple is giving it a C. Apparently Vince hates SmackDown, but Vince, let me tell you something. You're hating SmackDown, then you should be loving them because they're going to be giving you all this money for moving the Fox later on this year. So bull crap to you on that. What's up, Andrea Ziggler? He says they aren't called up, let alone signed. Staying on Raw, they're just flopping around. Yeah, again, I just don't get why these NXT calls. Again, here's the thing. Again, I'm also not getting understand why they're flopping these NXT call-ups around. Okay, if it's again bigger stars Gargano, Ciampa, again Black and Ricochet, yeah, I can see that sort of playing there because they're both big names. But Heavy Machinery, yeah, they're entertaining, but they weren't the biggest deal in NXT. Nikki Cross, EC3 and Lacey Evans. It's they didn't have the biggest star power. They didn't be true which brand. That does not work for them. It would work though for again a Johnny Gargano, a Tommaso Ciampa, a Aleister Black, and a Ricochet. Even Velveteen Dream that would work for, or even the Undisputed Era for crying out loud. But not those original batch of 6. Well, again, maybe Lars Salt. I'll give maybe Lars. But you have a good point there for sure, Andreas. Good to see you again, buddy. I know you've been around here and there. I guess I think what would it be if Triple H takes it gets to think what would be like a Triple H takes over Raw, even though we all know the secret that Vince is still running backstage. So that's the thing. But man, guys, I've definitely talked a lot. Again, I'm sorry this review started late, but again, guys, again, just bear with me over the next, well, again, I should say 2 days, for the next, week and a half. Again, I just have a lot I'm trying to get done before I leave my trip on Thursday. Again, I will try to get whatever I can uploaded here while I'm gone. If not, then I will definitely get caught up when I get back next week. If worse comes to worse, I can't record anything. Maybe I'll just do like one big video, just recapping everything that happened in WWE while I'm gone or something like that. Well, depends on what's going on. But again, after this trip, until WrestleMania, I'll be back on normal schedule afterwards. But again, I just had this trip coming up, and I want to be able to make sure I'm where I want to be on here, and of course where I am out in my personal life as well too. But again, so guys, again, I will be back up here live again tomorrow for my SmackDown review. I'm going to try to get my Takeover New York predictions done and my WrestleMania predictions done also before I leave on Thursday. Although I do have the wait for my flight and my layover, so I will have time to finish any of that stuff there too. Although I have some stuff for work I gotta work on also. So again, just stay patient with me, guys. As always, again, remember, no top 10 special this week though. Yeah, thank you guys for joining me live. Yeah, I got to check out now, guys. I also expect the Dean Ambrose turn alert tomorrow sometime. Of course, my haircut and clean shaved face probably. But then unless I do it before I leave, I record before I leave for my haircut. Who knows? But yeah, so guys, just stay tuned for all this stuff to come on my channel. As always, stop liking the video, subscribe more content to my channel, and follow me on Twitter as well at DemandEverybody3. Again, B- for Raw tonight. Again, a fun night, definitely with some little bumps in the road, but definitely thought it still had its fun parts. But that's it, guys. I'm checking out. I'm getting to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And also, make sure to check out my Fastlane coverage if you haven't done so yet. Again, it's off to a good start with views so far. Again, I want to try to get that card up to a good amount of views definitely over the next 3 weeks. Again, my last couple match cards haven't really done well views-wise. I definitely want to, get the views up for those for sure. So, yeah, to the guys, yeah, I'm checking out now. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.